Okay, I want to take a look right now at the Schumann resonance. And if you don't know what the Schumann resonance is, I mean, I would recommend looking it up. There's a bunch of videos on it. It's really fascinating, but it's like the background sort of frequency of at least the surface of Earth, of the atmosphere of Earth. It's 7.83 hertz. I think it's essentially formed by lightning throughout all of time and fucking photons that don't get out of the atmosphere and they end up eventually colliding with each other. That creates the Schumann resonance. What I just said may not be true. So look up the deal on the Schumann resonance. What I said was at least close. But anyway, so there have been crazy spikes in the Schumann resonance, and that happens sometimes. And it happened a couple years ago, or maybe it was about a year ago, when they happened in 12-hour intervals. It was fucking really weird. But I watch Mr. MBB 333 on YouTube, and he covers the Schumann resonance every day, as well as a bunch of other things. He monitors the Yellowstone supervolcano, and he does all these checks on power outages and wildfires, all this stuff. Mr. MBB 333. If you want to track the Schumann resonance, he does it. He does it upright. So anyway, the question that I have here is the Schumann resonance being manipulated by something other than just our natural weather systems? And let's see here. So we're going to be using the deviant moon. We're going to probably get a second look from the Tattoo Tarot, but let's start with the deviant moon. And the question is pretty much, is the Schumann resonance being artificially manipulated? And the combination of the Wheel of Fortune and the Empress, to me, would say that no, it is not being artificially manipulated. The Wheel of Fortune is showing, these shadows are pissing me off, I'm sorry. The Wheel of Fortune is showing something that is like part of a bigger galactic wheel, you know? That's just some shit that is going to happen. So I would take that as natural stuff. And also the Empress, the Empress would probably be the Earth being very receptive and being open to the galactic clock. And we see the flower growing out of the tail of the Empress here. And again, I'm just taking that to mean sort of natural stuff. Now, excuse me for a moment. The lighting is going to change, but I'm going to turn off one of these lights over here. Well, that didn't get rid of the shadow, but whatever. I guess I'll do this. That'll get rid of the shadow. I'll just take away the cards that were causing it to happen. That's a better idea. Okay, so looking at these, I'm still going to say no, I do not think that this is artificial manipulation. Let's see what's on either side of the Empress, because we can find out a little more this way. A reversed Seven of Pentacles. Well, this is interesting. The witch practicing witchcraft here turned upside down. But if there is manipulation, then it would be like sort of magic manipulation, probably coming from back in the day. That's what I would read into the fact that this thing is turned upside down. But this might, I mean, a group of people sending out magic waves of energy or whatever the fuck, like some sort of ritual from a long time ago. And butterfly effect, maybe it just took this long to actually show up. But as it moves forward, we have the Lovers. And the lovers is showing this huge commitment in energy and also these two things blending together. Um, I would not expect the fluctuations to stop looking at the lovers on the other side. Now, I guess here's the question. What happens if this continues to increase? What happens to us? And the Knight of Swords is the territorial defender. I think what that's saying is it would probably make humans more aggressive. Um, let's see. If this is happening, right? And it does in short spurts at least for damn sure it is happening. Um, so is there anything we can do to shield ourselves from this? Well, the King of Cups, I mean, maybe it would help to be near the water. But the King of Cups is mostly about making sure that you're not giving emotional energy to anything that is just a drain or anything that's super toxic. Maybe it would also help to be drinking water, you know? But I think it would probably affect people less if they were near the ocean. That makes sense to me because the ocean itself, kind of, and the waves and everything, that is a completely different frequency, right? It creates like a totally different deal. Um, so I would imagine because of this, if you were in a desert or something like that, you might be way more susceptible to the Schumann resonance sort of fucking with your head. Now, let's just look at the tattoo tarot here and see what this has to say. I'm essentially going to ask it the same question like, is the Schumann resonance being manipulated in some way other than natural systems? Oh, we got one that mostly wants to come out, and I guess two. And that is the 9 and the 7 of cups. Okay, well, we'll go. I mean, actually looking at it, it's hard to really know. I mean, they're both emotional cards because they're both cups cards. Um, but this is a deck that I am currently in the process of learning. So I am going to look at my sheets here and see what we got. So with the Nine of Cups showing up first, um, success, abundance, wholeness, spiritual fulfillment. Okay. And the Seven of Cups, nothing is as it appears, fantasies and pipe dreams, unrealistic expectations. Well, looking at this, this isn't really saying shit either way, I don't think. This might talk about some sort of, illusion aspect of the manipulation of the Schumann resonance. But I'm going to pull one more just to see if it will make any more specific sense. And a 7 of coins. We've got the timepiece in the center. What is that called? It's the thing that the sand runs through. One of those. Um, which to me is a lot like this Wheel of Fortune. Just showing like this is sort of part of some bigger cycle and that it's pretty much just happening and that's the way it is. I really didn't organize these sheets very well. I had to print on both sides of these pages so I don't fucking know what it is that I'm looking for on any of these sheets. 7 of coins. Profit, growth, and progress, valuable assets, fruits of labor. That might be the first thing that would say that maybe it was being done, but looking at it all together, I would say not really. All right, so we'll move that to the side. So, what do we have to look at here? Maybe being by the water would be helpful. Um, Now, what I'll do is just because what's tending to happen is spikes, where the frequency of the Schumann resonance will go way up. Um, so let's just see if there's a danger of an extreme spike or an extreme drop. And we'll go with a spike first, and then we'll look at maybe the low side. What happens if it's too low? On the low side, the Seven of Cups, which actually showed up in the Tattoo Tarot, but the Seven of Cups, this is like artistic expression. So I suppose I wouldn't worry too much about it dropping. But on the spike side, the reverse chariot would basically show being stuck, spinning your wheels, not knowing where you're going. And I think that is probably the one that would kind of fuck with our heads. Now, let's just see the degree to which the Schumann resonance fucking matters at all. Because maybe it's just some stuff that doesn't actually mean anything. And a court card is going to say it really depends on who you are. It's interesting. Our root card here is this reverse Seven of Pentacles, um, like the old witchcraft. But this reverse Queen of Cups, as far as what is the actual effect on people of the Schumann resonance, how hard is it? It depends on who you are. Anytime a court card comes up, that's pretty much the deal. So some people are going to be more susceptible to it than others. Now, there has been, in the spiritual community, there has been some symptoms that have been running through almost everybody that I know, and it has been headaches and also these bits of fury and elevated horniness, we'll say, kind of in a rotating way or sometimes simultaneously. So is that where this is coming from? I mean, are those symptoms coming from the Schumann resonance? It also depends on who you are. So I guess this would mean for some people probably yeah. Hold on. Let's just look at those symptoms in general and try to see where they come from. Well, seeing this Knight of Swords, well, and our root card here is actually a Queen of Swords, but seeing the Knight of Swords, I would say for anyone that has experienced this, it is at least partially coming from the Schumann resonance because the Knight of Swords is what showed would happen when it spiked, right? We would have this elevated sense of like aggression and sort of territorial energy. And here it's trying to protect what you have been growing. And in this summer, there have been threats coming from everywhere to what everyone has been growing. It doesn't seem like there's any region that is actually fucking safe, from anything. So I can see how that would happen, just sort of feeling these threats coming from all over the place, from natural disasters, fucking climate change, to people losing their fucking minds and riots and wars and all this. So uh, that sort of elevated energy, um, because this happened in the spiritual community too, this also shows that we are sensing a threat, and the way that I was just talking earlier to my friend about this, but when really spiritually attuned people feel this sort of thing, they tend to feel it first, like they feel the wave before it hits everyone else. So that means that the rest of the people in about a week and a half to 2 weeks are probably going to be going through this too. You know, that's about how long I have noticed it taking from whatever it is that I feel to show up in the world around me. But that means that there is a threat. Let's just see. I'm going to put a card right here to see what it is that we are feeling threatened by. Fascinating. The reversed Six of Cups is showing the future. Specifically, wow. And the Queen of Swords was again on the bottom. Loneliness and anxiety, felt some of that. But this is showing the future. It's if it's this way, then this is memories of the past. This would say, "Oh, we remember what happened in the past." But this is specifically knowing what's coming in the future. And that's what's making everyone feel defensive because they know what's coming. Um, I guess that makes sense. So that's what we get here. And I do not believe that the Schumann resonance is being manipulated by any government or whatever. I think the things that are happening to it and the spikes are a natural effect of Earth and its atmosphere. And even though sometimes it happens in a fucking specific pattern, but that also makes sense because the Earth is on a specific pattern, with the day and night and fucking rotation and all that. So, anyway, that's what we get here. If you have any other angles you want me to look at this from, feel free to let me know. Thank you and peace.